This is David Wheaton. The following is a short take from the Christian Worldview radio program. You can hear the full program at thechristianworldview.org. Do you think there's actually something even more nefarious than that you're trying to bring down the destruction of our own country because this is an unsustainable national debt we have at $36 trillion?
Well, I think it's a battle of worldviews at the very least. I mean, the people involved in this have a totally different perspective of what they think would be good for the world. They think the more you promote atheism, the more you promote LGBT values and so forth, that's a better thing for humanity. We don't agree with that. We don't share that conviction. But, when you think about it, the 20th century is just replete with examples of battles of worldviews. Now, to use some extreme examples, okay, I'm not calling anybody a Nazi, but I've done a lot of research on the Nazi Holocaust and the whole Nazi movement and so forth, and they actually thought that they were doing humanity a favor. They believed in Darwinian evolution. In fact, there's a very scholarly book about all this. It's called From Darwin to Hitler by Dr. Richard Weikart, a history professor. The gist of it was the goal of the Holocaust was to create the master race. It was to weed out those that they perceived as undesirable and essentially speed up Darwinian evolution. That was the goal. Now, in other words, they thought they were doing humanity a favor. And of course, it was monstrous what they were doing. I think those on the left that are really committed to the whole transgender push, they think they're doing people a favor, I guess, by promoting this. In reality, the whole transgender push is causing a lot of kids to end up permanently disfigured as they're trying to pursue something that cannot be pursued. In other words, you can't make a boy into a girl, and if you do all these surgeries and do all the hormonal things that the LGBT, the extreme movement is trying to push, all you're going to end up doing is causing this kid to be sterilized for life or whatever. And a lot of these children that are confused later on, they no longer have this confusion. And then they're thinking, well, what have I done with my body? How do I get my body back? And they can't. There is a sense in which Paul talks about in some of his epistles about how people have seared consciences. And you remember in Romans 1 where he talks about the wrath of God is revealed from heaven against those godless people who suppress the truth in unrighteousness, and they don't acknowledge God, and neither were they thankful, and then they just get worse and worse and worse, and they embrace every kind of depravity you can imagine. You can read all this in Romans 1, and when you read it, it's hard to believe this was written in the first century because it sounds like today. Yes. David, isn't it amazing? So anyway, I guess it boils down to who informs the conscience. That's the real gist, I guess, of what I'm getting at. Somebody may think they're doing the right thing, and in reality, they know deep down, no, they're not.
This has been a short take from the Christian Worldview radio program. To hear the full program and connect with this nonprofit radio ministry, go to thechristianworldview.org. I'm David Wheaton.